and go.
We gotta go.
Word.
Hey, we're on. All right.
Hey, we're live.
Tell everybody who we are.
Hey, everybody. Welcome again. It's Wednesday night, and you are live with Ron and Mike here on Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast. As always, I'm coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. And Mike, where the hell are you these days?
Well, I'm the hell in Amarillo, Ron. Thank you for asking.
Oh, well, shite.
And I'm already bummed. I told you that the moon thing looking back here, that bright light looking deal, what you can't see, and I'm freaking disappointed. It's an old snare drum I bought at an online auction, and I reskinned it, and I cut the Beatles logo, and so when it's on, what you can't see is right now it says the Beatles.
Well, you know, Mike, disappointment's a part of life, buddy. So get used to it.
Everyone's disappointed.
So I think this week, Mike and I actually have some context to talk about, and I thought a lot about this week. So, Mike, please lead us off and tell us what we're talking about this week.
All right. Well, let me remember where I'm at here. Today, we are talking about scars. How many you got, and how'd you get them? In fact, in the I think it's on the YouTube description. It'll say something to the effect of, how many do you have? Why don't you tell us and show us your scars and tell us the story? Because as I was typing it, I thought scars will tell a story.
Oh, amen.
And I think that's a fun way to look at it. So scars, how many you got? Tell us about them. Tell us the story behind your scar. So there you go.
On my promo I did, I had justify the fact of it. So we're going to talk about scars and not just the emotional ones that we all carry with us.
Yeah, I thought about taking a picture of like my heart. It's been broken so many times, but that's bullshit because my heart's never been broken. I'm the heartbreaker.
Oh my God.
That'll be my high D for next week.
I was just going to say. I know what the names are next week.
But you go stealing it, Ron.
Twofer. So, I was thinking about it since we talked about this, and it's funny how life works, because I was scrolling through TikTok like I normally do, and I literally 5 minutes before you clicked me on to backstage, I was reading this thing on TikTok, and it came up and it said childhood injuries. I kid you not, it's right here, popped up here. It said childhood injuries, and here's from childhood to adults. Childhood, fell out of a tree, fell off my bike, twisted my ankle. Adult injuries, I slept wrong, sat down in the chair too long, sneezed too hard,
cracked a rib.
I can identify with that. I'll start off with the most recent kind of injury. Last, I think it was October, I took our travel trailer to the property up in Montana to drop it off there, just because we don't use a lot down here, but we'll probably use it more up in Montana. And lots to that story up there. But on the way back, I drove back, and I was by myself. So I stopped in Salt Lake City, which is about a 7-hour drive from Missoula. And I stayed in a hotel that one night. And about 1 o'clock in the morning, Mike, I sneezed and twisted so hard the wrong way, I pinched a nerve in my back, and I couldn't sleep the rest of the night.
Aw, poor baby.
I know. It was horrible. And then I had to drive another 6 hours to get
That's
home.
not a scar.
I was scarred for life.
How many? Okay.
I'm going to tell you my first scar that I can remember. Right. How's that? When I was a kid.
That one.
Growing up on Debonair Circle, I was at the end of the hill, and you know where the Brunings lived in the corner down there.
Yeah.
Who was the fan that lived across the street, not across Debonair, but what was that, Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah. Oh, across Sleepy Hollow from
No.
the rooms?
What was the street you turned into before you got into Debonair?
Sleepy, Picturesque.
Okay. Anyway, across the street, that whatever that street was from the Brunies, there was a family that lived there.
Right.
So anyway, I was down there, and I was maybe, I'd say between 7 and 9 years old, and we were playing in their backyard. You know, in the days we didn't wear shoes; we were feral. And I was running in their backyard, and I stepped in between two rocks, and I slit the inside of my left ankle wide open. First experience with getting stitches, and I remember hobbling up the hill in just tears. I could see my shit in my ankle just hanging out, and I'm like, oh my god. So I get home, and mom takes me to the hospital, and they're like, oh yeah, you got to have stitches, and when you're that age, you're like, oh what?
Right.
It was like 3. It was 3. Well, there's Carefree. You turn on.
No, I wouldn't Carefree. If you're talking about, you turned
Picturesque
off the Blanco.
And Picturesque was the next street up. I think.
No, Picturesque was the complete circle that came around.
Was it? Okay.
North Picturesque.
Or as Mike referred to it as Picture Squee.
It was Picture Squee.
But
yeah. When we moved there, I didn't know what it was. I'm proud of myself. Picture Squee.
But anyway, that is the memory of my first scar that I can remember. Uncle Ken
says, I don't seem very sympathetic to your injury.
No, he never has been. Never has been. Doesn't matter.
The advantage of being the bigger older brother at the time is I didn't have to care.
Yeah, suck it up.
Buck up, princess.
Pansy ass.
No, it's funny you mentioned your ankle because I'm going to show you a few. It's funny because I told Ron when I was kind of getting the promo, I was going to write something to the effect of, hey, it's either going to be funny or soft porn tonight. And I thought, well, I better not do that because Facebook could kick us off for saying it's going to be soft porn. So hang in there. For whatever reason, StreamYard is trying to tell us our signal is not strong enough. So we'll see what happens here.
Oh, we strong.
We strong, brother. And as you said that, the signal got a hell of a lot better. All right. So I'm going to go with what might be the obvious for me, what you can't see.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, speaking of that house, I think this is what you're talking about.
I can tell. No. It was not across that street, across the other direction.
So it would have been across Picture Street.
Okay. I know where this is. I told this story to Michelle when we started talking about this topic, but go ahead.
Do you know what that one is?
I do, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. It
had to do with what we did every winter growing up in Colorado.
Got firewood.
Yes.
Yep. I think I have. Let me remove this one because I think I have a companion image to go with that one, which would be this one here. And where I'm outlining it, it's a little hard to see. It's hard to take a picture of it. Tip of my thumb that I cut off cutting firewood with, I think was it the Kellys? I can't remember what their name was.
They were a large family.
They were, yeah. Yeah, they were a rather large family. So.
Oh, you're cutting out.
So there's that. Okay. Yeah, for some reason.
So Mike's cutting in and out, but what happened was this family down there, I believe it was the Kellys, had a log splitting machine, and Mike had to have been maybe in his early teens at the time, and was down there helping them.
This isn't us. This is man. Come on, StreamYard, don't fail me.
I got you. So, but Mike was saying, he's at the Kelly's house, and they had a log splitting machine, and I believe it was a hydraulic. If I
remember, a hydraulic one, yeah,
yeah. And this was if you ever seen one, you put the log on the machine, it literally just slams this axe head right through it. And Mike, my brother, as wonderful as he is, got his thumb in the wrong spot, and it chopped a quarter of his thumb off.
It nipped it off. Mrs. Kelly had to come out. If you remember, she was for our age, kind of hot. So Mrs. Kelly comes out because Mr. Kelly was big, and he was sitting there doing what we're doing right now. He was sitting there drinking a beer, just running the hydraulic lever.
Throw some dirt on it, boy.
And I pulled my thumb back and started shaking it. Well, the tip whip goes off, right? So I'm squirting blood. Mrs. Kelly, bless her heart, brings out a dishcloth and puts the dish. So the truck that they had that they loaded their wood onto, that's what took me to the hospital. this big old giant old GMC rail truck. And so that's what, because Mom and Dad had to come and meet us there later.
Oh, man.
So they warned Mom and Dad, we can sew the tip back on, but we're not sure it's going to work. And to this day, I don't know if you can see it, but to this day, I can press on it and it'll leave a mark. It stays there. I really have no feeling in it.
So I was just a hot news report, Mike. I just, from the back of my screen back here, I hear this voice that says, it's not showing up on Facebook.
Really? Huh.
Are we live?
We are. Damn it, don't do that to me.
The look on your face just was priceless right there.
Damn it, don't do that to me. Oh, my.
I got my first scar because of a sprinkler. It was so hot.
Spark.
All right, Michelle says that she thinks it's on now. You got so twirled around and through it. And next thing I knew, I was wishing a giant pine tree behind me went up in flames.
Oh, God.
Oh, a sparkler. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
A bed of dried pine needles. Yeah, Karen, we call that kindling in Colorado.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well,
just
remember,
I have to say,
could have been worse.
I never tried to start a forest fire.
Stop it.
But hey, at least you got a story. But that's a good story. See, every scar has a good story. So
yeah.
There you go. So,
but the thing is, I think it's our age, baby boomers and Gen Xers, because it wasn't even just as kids. I mean, hell, even as adults, I have scars from shit that I do. I mean, I work in construction, so I'm constantly injuring myself. Matter of fact, it's a running joke with the guys. It's like, if I'm not bleeding, I'm not working hard enough. Compared to yeah, it is, dude. I mean, I have so many marks on my legs from hitting trailer hitches to dropping lumber across my legs to picking up sheets of drywall with my shin, and it's just it's never ending. Nowadays these guys are just pardon the French, but they're a little
they're pansies.
Sugar in the tank, and they can't handle a lot of this stuff. Oh, my fingernail! I have a hangnail.
Yeah. I lit up the mobile hotspot. We're going to see if that helps at all.
Oh, I feel better. Yes, thank you.
Well, as long as you're feeling better. All right.
So who we got? Anybody? Who else we got on tonight? Who's joining us?
I can't tell yet. Other than Karen, right now we don't have anybody, and they're probably pissed because StreamYard's screwing up on us here.
Probably because Michelle just sent me a text and said, "Nope, not streaming."
I'll give you this one. Now, this one is going to take a little explanation. It's hard to see, but if you look real close, there's what looks like 2 white dots.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, those dots have started to fade. And what you can't tell, there's 2 scratch marks kind of go along there in no real pattern. It's because when I was younger, the 2 marks that you see are me proving how tough I was as a kid. Those are cigarettes. That's me putting the cigarettes out on my arm.
You're so cool.
So I still tote those, but the scratches were, I think it was like the end of a protractor or a compass, wherever they were. And I just scratched until I started to bleed because somebody told me if you do that, it'll make a cool scar. That'll work. So that's what that is. And so I thought I'd throw that up there. There you go.
Well, I know you probably can't really see it, but on my arm right here, on my elbow here, we had a boxer dog and a shepherd lab mix, and they got in a fight. And this was probably 10, 13 years ago. And I was probably about 3/4 of a bottle of vodka in, and the dogs got into a fight. And silly me tried to stick my hand in between them and break them up. And one of them pinched off right here, and literally I pulled their head away and ripped the skin out of my arm.
Ow.
And all I remember saying was, "Man, I hope the dog's okay because that's a lot of vodka in my body."
Well, speaking of dogs, I'll give you this one real quick. That's one of my dogs.
Pablo.
That's from my girl dog, Radar.
Aw.
Yeah, so I wear that with pride and with love.
Pablo, how you doing, brother? Mike, this is our buddy Pablo. He's kind of a family friend on the Martinez side of the family. Been around forever. Matter of fact, he comes out and visits here in Colorado. Duke can cook up some food. If you're ever hungry, Mike, and you're in Colorado Springs, make sure you hit this cat up. He'll feed you and feed you well.
Pablo, I'm not shaped the way I am because I don't eat. I'll be coming to Colorado Springs soon. I do
In
love
a town near you, Mike.
Run. Says he's doing great. Well, earlier you're talking about, and I don't have the picture ready, but you were talking about, stepping between two rocks and gouging an ankle. When we were kids, this is on Nadine. Now, I don't know, I can't remember who was watching us, but it's when Mom and Dad went to Mexico.
I remember that.
Okay,
For some odd reason.
so we're home, but I can't remember who's watching us. But I happened to be at somebody's house. I can't remember who it was, but I remember they were still building some houses around there.
Yeah.
And I was walking through a construction area, and without looking, I had stepped into some glass.
Oh.
And one piece came up and gouged my ankle. And I looked down, and I'm immediately bleeding like a stuck pig, right? And I thought, oh, God. Well, my first thought was, I can't tell anybody because Mom and Dad pretty much told us, hey, don't get any trouble. Here. Yeah, I'm not supposed to be away from the house. And so I thought, oh, God. So I ended up going home, trying to sneak in as best I could. Luckily didn't get blood on anything. So since I wasn't an RN or an EMT, Mike's answer to fixing the problem was grabbing every pair of socks I could find and putting it on my foot.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
it.
So what do you think it was like when I went to go take those socks off?
Oh, man.
Well, now they're covered in blood. It stopped bleeding. Here's the
dried up blood by the last 2 or 3 socks.
Pretty much. Explain that one to your mom when she comes back from their trip to Mexico.
I had my period, Mom. I'm sorry.
Turns out I'm a girl.
So, Mike, do you remember? You probably know where that Mine Are Not Fun consists of cyst removals, cancer, and back surgery. Yeah, Michelle's been through the ringer here the last couple of years, fresh off of back surgery from a few years ago. But I gotta say, man, the incision they made for her back surgery, dude, it's like next level. Like you don't even see it anymore. It's crazy.
Word, right?
Oh man, crazy shit. But yeah, do you remember where the Black Eyed Pea restaurant is down off of? I want to say it's Academy Boulevard by the Citadel Mall.
By the Citadel.
Yeah. So anyway, over in that area, there's some little apartments over there. And now I was probably. Now, mind you, this is back when the drinking age in Colorado was still 18. So this was a long time ago. And I was probably 17 or so, maybe 18. And I was at a party there at one of those apartment complexes. And dude in the hallway was just getting his ass beat. So me and a couple other buddies jumped in to help out. And I ended up getting my jaw broken in 2 places here and here. Matter of fact, if you take an x-ray, you can see the wire still in my jaw right here. And I got clocked with a beer bottle and went down like a sack of potatoes. Anyway, the next day I show up at Mom's house. I think she was still living over there on Kingsley. And my face is this big on this side and it's green and purple. And I'm like, Mom, I need to get to a dentist or whatever. Anyway, long story short, it hit me so hard on this side of my face, it knocked out this tooth over here. So had to go to get this tooth pulled. And the dentist is like, yeah, I can't pull your tooth. And we're like, what do you mean you can't pull your tooth? He goes, I can't open your mouth. Your jaw's broken in 2
Oh
places.
my.
Yeah. So I ended up going to
Oh,
a
goodness.
TMJ specialist. And ladies, if you ever want to lose weight really quick, get your mouth wired shut for 6 weeks. Definitely will drop some poundage, because I had my mouth wired shut for 6 weeks. It was
No
great,
doubt,
great
right?
fun. Great fun. I got to carry a little tiny set of wire snips around with me everywhere I went, just in case I choked or was throwing up. I had to cut my wires off. But yeah, so everything I ate was through a straw.
Wow.
Everything was liquid. And then I remember the day, Mike, when Mom took me to go get the wires taken off. And mind you, this is 6 weeks of no movement of your jaw. And when they snip these wires, my jaw literally, when they say your jaw dropped, it dropped. I mean, just like, just wide open. I had no control over it. And yeah, so that was probably one of my most memorable scars as a young man. And I think Mike froze up again. My other scar I talk about is about 5 years ago, I had to have Achilles tendon surgery. I was up working in Montana. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I had a ganglion cyst on the back of my heel. For those of you that don't know what that is, just a little fatty cell that is in the back of your heel. And
I tried to kick us over to my hot spot.
That's okay. I was talking about my Achilles tendon surgery now. So when I was in Montana,
this isn't.
Yeah, the cyst in the back of my heel burst, and I called my buddy here in Vegas, who's also my podiatrist. I'm like, hey man, am I going to be okay? I mean, because you could literally stick your little finger in the hole was so big in the back of my foot, you can literally stick your finger in the back of my foot. Is how big this hole was. So again, long story short, he's like, you're going to have to be in surgery when you get back to Vegas. So literally, what was it, Michelle? Maybe a few days, a week or less. I was in surgery right after I got back from Vegas. And that put me down for the better part of a year.
Listen, while we're getting good signal, I just want to apologize on our behalf. This is clearly not, because on my end, there should be no problem. So I don't know what's happening with StreamYard. Maybe just too many people on tonight. I don't know what's going on there. So right now
we're on our show.
Word. So anyway, let me give you this one while we're still going, because I think I'd be remiss if I didn't show this one. So this will be my version of soft porn. But that's that's my scar from the splenectomy. And so
that's your butt crack?
It is my butt crack.
It's the Kraken.
The scar from around the belly button to the top, it's getting, I'm 62, so it's getting harder and harder to see. The top part is the funny part. Well, not the funny part, but it's the interesting part of the story. Is first of all, thank you to my cousin Roger for giving me the right to have this wonderful scar and to live life as a spleenless wonder. But the top part that you see there, about 3 or 4 days after I came home from the hospital, I can't remember if it was Kenny Hall or who came over but I had a paper route. And Kenny or whoever it was came to my window and tapped on it and said, hey, I'm ready to go do the papers. And as I got up, I realized, oh my gosh, there's something wet on my stomach. And so I reached up under my pajama top and I realized, oh God, it's wet. So I went up to Mom and Dad's room. Now, to understand this, we never just walked into Mom and Dad's room.
No.
Totally unacceptable in our house. I did. I walked in and stood right next to Mom, and I was saying, Mom, I think I'm leaking. And she says, she looks at, oh no, baby, we'll go later. They'll put a butterfly bandage on it. You'll be fine. Okay, cool. We went in later that morning, and Dr. Polyakov came in. He was the surgeon that did the splenectomy. and runs this giant freaking Q-tip. I'm trying to show you how big it was. One of the big ones, with the like wooden dowel on it. And he jams that damn thing down in me, twists it around and brings it out. And that hurt. And so he said some magic doctor mumbo jumbo and walked out. A nurse and 2 orderlies came in, and the nurse is shaking this packet. I thought, oh, thank heavens, there's the butterfly bandage. And so the next thing I know, as she's opening this package, the 2 orderlies are now holding my arm down on the rails of the bed.
Oh, you're going to sit still, boy.
And I thought, well, what the over? Yeah, it weren't no butterfly bandage. It was a pair of surgical scissors.
Oh, shit.
So without any no painkiller, nothing. They just cut it open. What you see there, they cut me open and then reeled off we determined it was about 3 feet of gauze.
Oh, yeah.
Stuffed that baby down in me.
Yeah.
And then put the bandage on. Well, thank heavens.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. Mom wasn't, but can I tell you this? I have seen my mother cry, but I've never seen my mother cry this hard. She cried from that doctor's office all the way back to the house. And she just kept saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm thinking, why?
Yeah.
So that's the story behind that scar.
Mm.
There you go. So now when you hear Roger talking about, hey, Mike, sorry I gave you the scar. He wears that damn thing like a badge of honor.
Badge of honor, dude.
Yeah,
absolutely.
baby. Yeah, baby. I gave that thing to my cousin Mike.
Yeah. That's not a scar. I'll show you a scar.
Yeah. You don't know how often I think that when I hear people talking about things, if I only had the nerve to lift up my shirt,
right?
Have I got something to show you? And I usually say that before I undo my pants. I tried to warn Facebook there was going to be soft porn tonight.
Well, yeah, you talk about, mom. I'll tell you a little something about dad. I don't know if you remember this or not, because you were already, married and out of the house, but I got in a really bad car accident when I was probably, I don't know, between 16 and 18. I don't remember what the hell it was, but got T-boned, hit on the driver's side, hit me so hard it threw me out the passenger side window. And it's one of those things where people tell you, oh, you should always wear your seatbelt. Well, had I been wearing my seatbelt that day, I wouldn't be sitting here doing a podcast with you today. Let's put it that way. And I do remember coming to in the hospital and the doctors asking me, do you know where you're at? And I think I named off 2 or 3 hospitals. They're like, nope. So well, where the fuck am I?
Yeah, so right. Anyway, there's only 3 hospitals here.
So what I didn't know, I found out later on, was that dad ran every stoplight and stop sign in Colorado Springs to get to that hospital.
Damn right.
And it's, it's one of those things that as a parent now, it has a whole different meaning. But, as a kid, when you're told that, you're just like, all right, dad, fucking dad.
As a parent now, and I mean this respectfully, but unless you're my generation or Ron's generation, as a parent now, and maybe some millennial, maybe, but as a parent now, they don't have to worry about it because they won't let their kids go out and get hurt.
There's never any reason for it. There's never, there's no chance of it,
I will tell you that, but I get, Boot, you're almost making me emote talking about dad.
I'm already tearing up, so just shut the hell up.
He when mom got me, now again, not funny, but the story of that injury is, and I may have shared this before, so long story short, we get home. Dad was home. We're over at Linda's house. So we get home. Dad says, hey, it's probably just a bruised rib. Go hold a pillow against your chest. You'll be fine. Well, about 2 hours later, mom came down and said, no, I'm taking him to the hospital. So we go like a bat out of hell, and I think it was St. Francis. And they get me into a room, and they're trying to put an IV in me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pokes. They can't get it in. By this time, Dad shows up. He's there. And he watches them do about 2 more. Dad, and for my family, you'll know what I'm talking about, in that scary as hell, deep voice that he had, yells in that room, is there somebody in here? Something to the effect of, if you don't know what you're doing, can you get somebody in here that knows what they're doing and quit using my kid as a pincushion?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean,
I can hear it.
And I thought, Dad just stood up for me, because I was laying there trying to be tough because Dad was there. And after about the 7th or 8th poke, I'm crying my ass off. God, it hurts. So yeah, for Dad, I just thought, I carried that for years. I thought, wow, Daddy just gave them hell in
I'll
the
tell you
ER.
the story. This has nothing to do with scars, because you know how we always get off topic anyway. But let's talk about Dad, because we seem to, that seems to be the common denominator with us.
He just had his birthday.
Yes, he did. And but I'm going to tell you something that always brings a tear to my eye, and I remember it like it was yesterday. But we were playing YAL football, and this was like Youth Athletic League football in. Let's not talk about legs. Yeah. But youth athletic football in Colorado Springs when I was a kid, and I was the quarterback. I think Matt might have been on our team at that time. I'm not really sure, but there was a guy, a parent in the stands that was just woofing shit because I was having a bad game, whatever you want to call it, and this guy was woofing shit. And Dad, I heard this as I'm in the game, heard this. Well, if you don't like it, how about you and I just step out in the parking lot? I'm just like, okay,
go Dad.
Now, for those of you that don't know Archie, our dad, he was not a very large statured man, but he was a man that commanded respect when he walked into a room.
When he walked in the room, he got respect.
I will tell you, to finish the story, the guy turned down the offer.
As most would.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember that for, even to this day. It was just one of those things, as a kid and your father. And, I was very much that same dad with my kids. Matter of fact, Michelle can tell you an experience when I used to coach McKenna's soccer team, and there was another coach that was being a little aggressive with the kids, and I'll just say we left, and I left him on the field crying. So yeah, we just that's our generation. We don't put up with that shit. Yeah. You don't fuck around with my family. You don't fuck around with my kids.
Dad
we'll get along just fine.
Dad had something of a short fuse, and once you burned it down, you were in trouble.
Oh yeah, you were done. I know what this is.
What is it?
That's from a planer.
It's my boo finger.
That looks like a flipper.
It's okay. I can't remember if it was Matt or somebody when I posted this on Facebook some time ago. I thought it was my ding dong. You got a problem there, dude.
God dang it.
The problem is
while I'm drinking. It almost came up my nose.
So, and there's a kind of
good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, that took off a good chunk of that. But I tell people I can't cut a 45-degree angle as good as I cut my finger. It is literally 45 degrees, man. It's just funny as shit.
Is that your marking mechanism now?
Yeah, that's what I do now. It's like I need a 45-degree angle.
I got this.
Here,
this. Mike's all like, that's not 45 degrees.
There you go. Thank you, magic finger.
You're full of shit.
All right. And real quick, I got one more for you. This is just a sign that I'm getting old. So today, I've been trying to walk some extra steps. Carolyn and I are trying desperately to lose some weight, right? So the atrium in the building that the radio station's at, it's 2 levels. So today I thought, you know what? I'm going to go upstairs, walk the stairs, go make a lap up there. While I'm up there, if I have to go to the bathroom, I'll go. Well, as soon as I turn to walk up the stairs, I bash an arm, my right arm, and I thought, well, son of a bitch, and it hurt. So I just kept walking like, don't show pain, dude. Show them how tough you are. So my chunky ass got upstairs, went to the restroom. As I come out, it has these god awful, they're almost weapon door handles.
Weapon.
And, so as I come out, my left arm bashes this door handle, and I think I said out loud, "Son of a bitch!" I mean,
what was wrong with you?
And so, and that shows up.
Jesus, that's an old man scar right there.
That shows up like about 20 seconds after I hit the damn thing.
Good Lord.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it hurts. And it had a little whelp on it.
This will put life in perspective for you. Did you realize that we are the same age now as what the Golden Girls were when they were filming?
Shut your pretty mouth.
Right?
Shut your pretty mouth.
How's that make you feel, Blanche?
Could it? What's bad is Blanche is the only one I know.
Yeah, right.
God. Oh my Lord. That's horrible.
Right? It is, dude. It's you don't realize that shit because I'm sorry, I'm 55 years old. I don't feel like I'm 55. I don't think I act like I'm 55.
I don't feel 62
all the time, but I get that grumpy old guy in me. I'll be driving around. I have to tell myself, Ron, calm down.
Yeah, right.
Calm down.
Take it easy, bro.
Do you do the same thing,
easy, bro? Oh, I do.
Absolutely, dude. I will talk myself off the ledge driving around town.
You know, Tim Cato. Tim will join us every once in a while. He sent me a text the other day. He says, I don't know why, but I got up this morning just pissed. Everything made me mad. I was dropping the F-bomb. I was just mad as hell. And then he found this cat and her kitten on the side of a road. And he said, after I started to try to seek help for the cat, I suddenly started feeling better.
Amen.
And I said, Tim, I'll tell you why. Because God will put things in your path to get you to understand there's no reason for you to be acting the way you're acting.
Sure.
And so I find that, so yeah, when you ask me, do I really do that? Yeah. I tell myself, oh, come on, big guy, settle down, just take it easy, take a deep breath. But do I still fly off the handle? Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Do I feel 62? No, but I get grim reminders I am, like my younger brother fucking telling me, hey, do you know we're the same age as the Golden Girls?
And then calls me Blanche.
Wait, I got something for you. It made me think of this.
Yeah, I got two of them. I know, punk bitch.
Oh, God. All right. Well, again, I'm sorry about the quality of the feed tonight. It's usually not that bad.
I do act 55, I guess. I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
Well, when you do stand,
I try not to.
Me too. That's. I love the shape I'm in, and that shape is round. No, that's. I'm trying to lose the round shape. Yeah. All right, so we got. I think I showed you all my scars.
We're gonna be what we're gonna be. It doesn't matter.
I had one more, but I didn't take a picture of it, and it's in line with. Oops, it's in line with one that you shared earlier, and it was. Remember the Cow Palace downtown?
Of course.
Yeah. So I was running with a group of pals. I think Steve Bracken, Stuart, his brother. I can't remember who all was there, but we were out cruising one night, and one of them got the big ass idea of, "Hey, let's go start some shit at the Cow Palace."
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrong place.
So we pull up into the parking lot and into the side of the building, and one of us decided to be a pretty good idea to poke our head in the door and just yell something just horrible about Fort Carson, because that's what was in there.
God.
The soldiers.
So
we did. And within a matter of moments, it was on.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it was not only on, it was way on. So there was this wonderful melee in the parking lot of the Cow Palace, and listen, we did good. And I had two of my guys. One of them sort of flaked out on me, but as we're going at it, I suddenly start to feel my right arm is wet. And I thought, what did they do? Throw beer or something on me? And I kept going, and then I realized, oh hell, I'm bleeding. And so to this day, I still bear right below the elbow. I still bear a nice scar where some wonderful cat decided to stab me with a beer bottle.
Nice.
The sharp end of a beer bottle.
Not just for drinking anymore, kids.
No. but you know, you can only cruise Nevada a few times.
I was going to say, and where did we cruise in Colorado Springs?
Nevada, and you know, you can only make 2 or 3 laps before you realize this is boring.
Boring as fuck. Amen.
Let's find something else to do.
Let's go fight half the military.
Yeah, let's go start some shit with all those Fort Carson guys. That'd be fun.
I mean, at least we did it right in my day. We'd go in a bar and pick a fight.
Oh God! Well, it was kind of a bar.
Well, the Cow Palace used to be. They used to hold like the tough man competitions back in the day, in the wrestling and all the other bullshit.
It was the hang, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't my hang. So there you go. There's the story of that scar, and then I'll leave you with one more. David. All I have to do is say David Klingbeil.
Well, that could mean a lot of things. That guy.
David was so his parents just bought him that damn gorgeous Roadrunner Charger, and it's the car I wanted so bad, and Dad wouldn't let me get it. So David's family bought it for him. So we're cruising. We're literally just cruising through Village 7, and the 7-Eleven at the top of the hill that we used to walk to all the time.
Yeah.
So David and I pull up in his car, and there are a couple of girls using a payphone. And so we're flirting with them, you know, making our move, doing our thing, and kind of got the cold shoulder, so we left. Well, at some point, we end up, I don't know if it was Harmony and Carefree, and we're stopped there, and screaming up behind us comes another car. About 5 dudes jump out of this car and came running up to each side of David's car and start pounding. Well, didn't have to pound because the windows were down, but started pounding on things. Hey, were you making moves on my woman? And they're just going off. Well, David was a hockey player and kept a hockey stick in the back seat of his car. So he just started to reach over the back seat of the car, and he said, "Just go when I go." And I said, "Okay." So we got out. He started swinging that stick, and we left 5 people there in the middle of the road and didn't give a shit what happened to him. And but I will tell you,
that's how we had fun in the 80s.
That's the one fight I can remember being in that I got home, and I don't mind telling you, I was worried.
Yeah, he might have killed somebody.
That's what I was thinking. We didn't have cell phones or anything back then, so I didn't have a way to say, "Hey, David, did you have to go by and check and make sure they were okay?" But no, I took out 1 or 2. David instantly made sausage out of the rest of them. Look, it didn't take a lot. I mean, these weren't like, big dudes. It's probably just dudes trying to impress their women.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind telling you. We got back in his car. We were fine. And when he dropped me off in my house and took off for his. But I sat down there in the room that night and thought, man, I'm a little worried.
Waiting for the knock on the door?
Either the knock on the door or some news story. 2 men found dead.
3 dead in the parking lot of Harmony Bowl.
It appears to be the work of a mad hockey stick killer.
Well, we've all had that problem, Mike. But and that's the thing nowadays. It's fighting when we were kids versus fighting today are just entirely different things. You get in a fight, you move on, go to the next one. Nowadays, these fuckers are stalkers, and they just
But didn't that you just said something that I have said time and time again? And I just said this the other day to somebody. When we fought back then, I'm not talking about what Dave and I did on that street that night, or even what happened at Cow Palace. But generally, when it was an alpha male testing the alpha male syndrome,
Sure.
you got in the fight. What happened? One person won, one person lost. Then what happened, Ron?
You got up and shook hands, and you
Yeah, right.
You were probably friends
You guys wanna
afterwards.
You guys want to go get something to eat?
Amen.
Yeah, you just that's how we roll.
I remember I remember the one catalyst of me, because I was always the kid that got beat up in the neighborhood, mostly because I was told not to fight. You know, dad and mom were just, oh, don't fight, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And there was a kid, can't remember his name, but he was a friend of Matt Hall's. I think it was Kevin Moran, I think it was. And I was just beating the tar out of this kid out in front. And I remember, you know how it was. You could hear Dad's truck coming up Debonair Circle from the end of the street. And we heard the truck coming, and everybody stopped. And sure as shit, man, right after that, man, we shook hands, went back to playing football out in the street, and everything was cool, you know. Nowadays, you got all these, you know, keyboard tough guys that want to come at you from all different angles on social media and whatever. It's like, dude, sack up. I'll be here at this date, this time. Let's just knock it out, and let's move on.
Whoever wins, and after that, we can go get something to eat. That's my big concern. Clearly,
amen. A lot of guys I got in fights with back in the day were friends to this day. I mean, fucking Matt Hall and I used to get in fights all the time. Chris Hammermeister fights all the time. You know, I lost most of them, but you know, it's okay.
Now, see, I remember a little differently. Dad always told me, if somebody starts something, you better finish it. If you start something, you better finish it.
Well, that's probably why I was told not to fight, is because you were pretty proficient at doing exactly that. Probably starting most of them.
Maybe.
I do recall, and we talked about it, and Matt and I both talked about it, of the day at Penrose Park, when you, Mr. Tough Guy, whatever dude and his crew are walking up, and you guys were playing football down there, and it was all, you want to go? And Mike, in his theatrics, you know, reaches in the pockets, throws all of his money in there. You want to go? Let's go right now. You know, Matt and I are like, 7, 8, 9 years, and we're just like, oh my God, Mike's gonna die. We go running all the way to the house, tell Mom and Aunt Linda, and Aunt Linda didn't fuck around. I mean, they took off right down to Penrose Park, and it all ended well.
Aunt Linda was that's good backing to have. Yeah. If I'm tagging out, I'm tagging with Aunt Linda.
Amen.
If Dad's not available, now there's the other problem. Dad and Aunt Linda, if they're throwing down against somebody, I'm grabbing popcorn and watching somebody get hurt.
Amen. I'm not getting in.
I'm not getting in the middle of that one.
I may get injured.
That's right. I may get injured watching. Well, all right.
Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I know we got a little off topic, but I think we did pretty good this time. And
I think we did good after freaking StreamYard got their shit together.
It's all right. People still love us. For those of you that watch us on YouTube and on Facebook, if you don't watch us live, you can always watch us later on. Everything we do is recorded, please. And if you mention, if you talk about leaving comments or anything, leave them, please, because we see them afterwards.
We look at them.
We love to hear from you, love to hear ideas. And Mike, close us out.
Well, I'm going to leave you with this. I got nothing. I have nothing. All
right. Well, I love you all. God bless you. And Mike, again, thank you always for doing this with me. And we will see you guys next Wednesday night. Bye.